Oh, hi there, it's Timmy Joe Reviews Anything, and today on the program, oh my goodness, oh my damn, Forza Apex, Forza 6, Forza Motorsports on the PC. I mean, who'd have thought? 6 versions, or like probably 8 versions into it here, and we finally get a version on PC that we can play. I'm so excited, and the best piece of the crop, the best cream of the litter, I mean the best cream on the cake, the carrot cake, the icing on the cake, it's freaking free to download in beta right now, and the reviews are in and they're really good. So I've been playing it a little bit, and what I wanted to do is not only review this game a little bit and do some gameplay, but I'm also going to break down the 13 cars I've had in my lifetime. I am a big car nerd. I'm a nerd for a lot of things, obviously, technology and building stuff and what have you, but I'm a huge car nerd, and I've built a few cars in my lifetime, and I'm going to talk all about them after this intro, so hit it up. Thank you very much. Oh! So here we are, finally playing Forza Motorsports, Apex 6, whatever you want to call it, on the PC. Quick disclaimer, running a Core i5 only, running 16 gigs of RAM, and a GeForce GTX 750 Ti. So not a very powerful system, but as I've done in a other video, which I'll point up here in the doobly-doo, you don't need a fast system to play modern games. You just need a good, like a GTX 750 Ti and a Core something processor, and you can play these modern games at 1080p no problem, because consoles are not anywhere close to computer hardware and the spec'd out computers and stuff like that. This is the equivalent of a PS4 or an Xbox One, I swear. So that's my personal opinion, but right in the Microsoft software we're able to game capture, which I love, and we are going to go and start a race with this GTR. Quick side note, I've driven a GTR before. I drove like a 2010 spec'd out like 600 horsepower GTR in Toronto on my bachelor party. My buddy actually rented one for me so I could drive it, like the drive a supercar thing where a guy goes along with you. And fun fact, Drake had actually driven that GTR. He had rented it for a week prior to me driving it, like a couple days before. So I drove a GTR that Drake drove. So, I don't know if that impresses anybody, but... So my first car, Toyota Tercel. My father had a Toyota Tercel, and the minute I got my license, I stole the keys for this Toyota Tercel, and I never gave him the keys back. Like, that was pretty much considered my car, and I loved it. It was this 4-door, no amenities, no cruise control or air conditioning, little 4-door Toyota Tercel. You can see a picture of it here. Nothing too special, and I crashed it a few times here and there, but you're young, you're 16, what are you gonna do? And then we consider that my car, and then when I was about 17 and I was working at Sears, the lease was up on that Tercel, and I went and, with my parents' aid, I leased a Toyota Echo. And the Echo, of course, being like the next generation Tercel, but a lot better. It had a lot more amenities like air conditioning, cruise control, and power locks, which was awesome, as well as just bigger inside. It was a really good car. It was way better on gas, too, because of the variable valve timing. And then we stopped leasing cars, and I get my first actual car, and this is my favorite car of all time, the 1983 Toyota Corolla that you see up on the screen right now. This 1983 Toyota Corolla was rear-wheel drive, 2-door, 5-speed, and carbureted, which meant it did donuts, it drifted. It was such a cool little like economy car from the 80s, and these cars are still sought after today. I hit a deer with it, and I put huge miles on this thing. We got it with like 80,000 kilometers on it, and I put like another 50 or 60 on it in a couple of years that I had it, because I was living in Barrie. I actually worked at the Honda plant building Honda Civics, and I commuted back to my hometown with it like constantly for 2 years and to work. So I'm in third place and I'm talking my ass off. That's great. So gonna have to slow down here. So yeah, I loved that car. I wish I still had it. We actually sold it for $800, all smashed up. I'd hit a deer, rolled it into the ditch. You can see pictures here. But we sold it because these cars are sought after. People turn them into drift cars, and it was such a loss that I didn't hold on to that car. I mean, I could have fixed it up eventually, as I did become a body man. But we had painted it and stuff like that. The only maintenance I ever did on that thing was, like, I put a brake booster in it. That was about it. And a slave cylinder for the clutch. And it ran every time. Like, it was just such an awesome little car. So after that, I got a 91 Toyota Corolla. And in between there, I did own a 1991 Nissan Pathfinder for just a little bit. But it was short-lived because it was just rotten, and I was never able to keep it on the road. So I had that for like 6 months, but so I won't really count it for too much. But after that, I got a 91 Toyota Corolla, flippy headlights, two-door. This one was automatic and front-wheel drive, so not as fun of a car. And I drove the shit out of that car, of course. You know, it was a cool little car, but it wasn't my '83 Toyota Corolla, that's for sure. And after that car bit the dust, I went and I actually leased another Toyota, again, of course. This time it was an '06 Toyota Corolla, and you know, my first real modern car. It had cruise control, air conditioning, a little bit bigger, you know, a lot like the Echo that I had. So I had that for a couple of years, and then when the lease ran up on that, because of course I lease all my cars, I decided I'm going to go and get that Ford Escape that I was talking about. Oh man, I had the lead, I tell you. Really great looking game, isn't it? So I go and get that Ford Escape I was talking about in my credit video, the one that ruined my credit and the bad decision, you know, to get that car. And I had that Escape for about a year and a half, and I off-roaded it like it was an all-wheel drive, not a four-wheel drive. It was you know, it's not meant to go off-road. Whenever I brought it in for service, the Ford guys would be like, "This truck is not meant, or this SUV is not meant to be a truck. You're not supposed to go off-road with it. Why is there so much gunk in the wheel wells and stuff?" And I just shut up, whatever. So I returned that thing. And from my work, I was working at a body shop at the time. I actually got a write-off Honda Civic for $300, a 1996. You'll see it up on the screen here. And it was hit hard in the quarter. I got it for $300, and really nice car for what was wrong with it. Somebody had taken like really good care of it, and it had high miles, like 300,000 kilometers. But I still did a full body job on it, and it didn't need anything to certify because someone had taken such good care of it. And we're going to pass the line any minute now, and I will have won the race. But yeah, great looking game. So I get this 96 Honda Civic, and we actually ended up selling that car to put a down payment on our next car for $3,000. Actually, I think I doubled my money on that car, so really good deal. And I was working at a GM dealership after that, so I got with my wife, the first car we bought together, we bought a Pontiac G6. And I actually really liked the G6. It was an awesome car. It was really peppy, had like 220 horsepower V6 engine. You know, it was kind of bad on gas, and it started to rust and stuff like that, but I'm always good at keeping my cars up to date and stuff like that, so we rust proofed it, and it lasted a good while. So we paid that car off when my dad passed away, and we sold it to my buddy to get my wife's current vehicle, which is the 2015 Honda CR-V, which is what we haul the kid around in. But continue on the vehicles that I've had, and we'll go ahead and we'll play this truck game. I inherited my father's Suzuki XL7, XL7 SUV, which I had actually helped him buy, and we'll get to that in a second. But in between then, for our wedding, this was my second favorite car. It was the last thing my dad ever bought me. He bought me a 1970 Pontiac Parisienne. This Parisienne is a big boat. It's like a Chevy Impala from the 70s, and it was sitting in somebody's driveway for like, I don't know how long. It had like no miles on it, and it was like some old guy's grocery getter again. I did a complete body job on it and souped up the motor, made this thing amazing so we could drive away for our wedding. And, you know, once the wedding was done, I love this car, but here we are driving the Raptor. It did not fit in my current garage, like the garage I'm always working on stuff in, and it was just like something where I thought I could make some money off of it, so I ended up selling it after I had had it for about a year, and I regret it. Like, I really should have held on to it. It was such a cool car. Had a 350 in it, and I decked the motor out, and you know, I maybe made $1,000 on it in the end, but when it comes down to it, the sentimental value, I'm really sad I sold it. And when I sold that car, I went and I looked for a Toyota car that I could soup up, because my dad was a big Toyota fan, and he'd always wanted a Toyota Supra. Well, at a local wrecker, I found this next car, a 1992 Lexus Sc400. And when you're on the Top Gear test track, apparently you got to hit bowling pins. That's, you know, this makes no sense whatsoever. It's really cool how the truck gets pulled into the puddle like that. Anyways, so yeah, I buy this Lexus, and it needs a body job. It has high miles on it, but it has a V8 in it. It's rear-wheel drive, has all this cool luxury stuff. It had like a sport mode. It had power everything, a sunroof, and it had balls, this car. It was like 250 horsepower, 260 horsepower, and I got the exhaust fixed up on it, and it sounded awesome. And I sold that car last year because my Suzuki bit the dust. It was it needed like $3,000 worth of repairs, and I wasn't going to put that in there. And then I had this two-door sports coupe I couldn't bring my kid in, so we'll get to my last car, my Honda Civic that I drive now. I have a 2012 Honda Civic. So I scrapped the Suzuki and I sold my Lexus so that I could have a kid mobile, basically, for you know, the safety and whatnot. And I really hope that I do eventually get another car project. So my throat hurts. I'm kind of sick right now. I hope you enjoyed this video where I went over all of the cool cars that I had in my lifetime, playing Forza on the PC. It is a wonderful game. I'm going to beat it on the PC. It's going to be awesome for free. Maybe I'll do an update video to it later. But as you can see, it looks awesome running on here. And, you know, I'm running it on, like I said, a low-power computer, and it looks great. So go ahead and download this for free and play the shit out of it. Hit the subscribe button if you like this video. I make a video every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Sometimes videos in between. My name's Timmy Joe. I review anything, and I definitely give Forza a big thumbs up. What are your cars that you had? List them in the comments below. Your favorite car that you had in your lifetime. Are you a car nerd like me? Let me know.